Hello there, YouTubers. I am brand new. My channel barely has any videos on it. But I do a lot of DIY farmhouse type of things. I picked these boots up at a thrift store a couple years ago. Tried to sell them, and I don't know why they didn't sell, because they are awesome riding boots. They're actually floor shine. They're like $200-300 pair of boots. I just put a little greenery in them and some buffalo check I picked up at Odd Lots last year. This print is a frame that I had. Well, actually it was my husband's. And I got the print off of Etsy by way of House on Winchester on Instagram has one. And so that's how I found out about it. But great farmhouse print for sure. And this little cola bottle, what they used to use to deliver soda bottles in, is actually from Brillion, Wisconsin. We're in Dayton, Ohio, and my husband's actually not, he's from not far from there. But I just put a few little bottle brush trees in it and a few ornaments. And I collect ironstone. So this is one of my little pots. I haven't seen too many of these. I have two different kinds of them. This is one of them. Picked up this little deer at Michael's last year. Little ironstone platter from the thrift store. Little pewter candlestick from the thrift store. Clock from the thrift store. The rosary beads are from the thrift store. Little tree was from Michael's last year. This table I traded a friend of mine that has an antique store in Xenia, Ohio, Rusty and Chippy's. I absolutely loved it. Very French. Did not paint that one. These curtains are from Walmart. They were $10 a panel. So it did cost me, I have 3 windows. It did cost me $60 to get enough for the whole room, but that's okay. This brick chimney was actually covered in plaster when we moved in the house 12 years ago. And we just realized a couple of months ago that it was the chimney from the fireplace downstairs. And so we uncovered it. We broke all the plaster off. It does make a huge mess if you go to try to do this, so be prepared. I got this chest of drawers off of Craigslist for $20. I used Miss Mustard Seeds Farmhouse white on it so I could get a chippy effect. I do paint furniture for a living. I have for over 20 years. So chalk paint and milk paint are definitely, milk paint is my favorite though, the chippy. This little truck was navy blue. It was actually my grandson's room when he was a baby. And he no longer needed it, so my daughter-in-law gave it back to me, and I just gave it a coat of white, including the wheels. Put a little greenery and an ornament in there. Another pewter candlestick from the thrift store. This candle I actually made out of a mailing tube. I'll show you the bottom here. Just cardboard. I put a little styrofoam in the top, cut a hole, and then just got a little light kit from Michael's. They're for actually Christmas houses, so, but you can find them year round there. A few more bottle brush trees from Michael's. But what I did was I used white caulking, and I tinted it with cream colored paint. And then I did a metallic glaze on it. This garland I got just last week at Joann's. They were regular $29.99 with 70% off, so they were only around $8. So I untwisted it, took it apart, put one on each window and on my tree that I'll show you in just a minute. The shiplap we cut ourselves out of underlayment from Home Depot. I think it was around $13 a sheet. We cut it at 7 7/8. Because it's such a cheap and expensive material, it did have a lot of tannins in the wood, which is it's kind of the stain, the natural stain. So I did have to do 2 coats of primer. before I could do the paint. The paint is called White Barn from Glidden from Walmart. This is another little tree I picked up at the thrift store a couple years ago. I call it a twig tree. But it looks like they've come back in style this year. This one's probably about 30 years old. Just put it in this little pail, set it on a book, and a little milking stool that I got at the thrift store and painted white. We live in a Victorian home, so closet space is very small. So we use these suitcases a lot to hide or store items. We keep our summer and winter clothes in here. Switch it out per season. This lamp we picked up at a Goodwill outlet for $2. My husband loved it because it had this lion on it. And it's got it at the bottom too. Almost everything in our house is from a thrift store. There's the lion. And pitcher and bowl from the thrift store. I think I paid maybe $5 for that set. I liked it because it had a navy blue, I don't know if you can see that with the camera, stripe instead of the red that you see a lot. Our bed, our headboard, someone gave this to us. They were going to throw it away, a friend of ours. And I gave it a coat of black chalk paint. It was all scratched up. And a coat of clear wax. And that's what we have. When we did this shiplap, now we're getting our house ready to sell, to put it on the market in just a few months. So I didn't want to put too many holes in the wall. But we were trying to update a little bit, kind of aiming at the millennial crowd. I love to sew also. I made these pillows. They're also available on Etsy. This is a black and white ticking stripe with a sage green burlap. I cut a tree out, drew it out, and then did an envelope back out of drop cloth that is from Home Depot. The pillow shams I got at the thrift store, but they are Rachel Ashwell Shabby Chic. I think I paid $4 for the pair. I found these sheets, and they were just like 3 flat sheets, and they were king size, and our bed is queen. So I made pillowcases. And this was an old Ralph Lauren sheet, and I just love the neutrality of it. Kind of goes with anything. Really soft, minty green and grays. And this is a gray and white stripe here. And this pillow I got, it's just the cover. I purchased at Hobby Lobby when it was 50% off, so I think I paid $5 for it. Super cute. It's got a zipper closure. I've had this icicle wreath for at least a decade. I had 2 of them, and my son seen it and had a fit and had to have it, but I like the neutrality of it as well. I just think no bow, just simple, like it just the way it is. And we needed a desk. I don't have my laptop up here right now. Kind of don't like computers in the bedroom, but I got this writing table from a friend of mine, same one that I got that other little table from. And I just wanted something just to put the laptop and sit down. I collect old books. I love the leather that's on them. They all have a story, and they've been handled for years, and it just tells a story, I think. I also collect Crocs. I call this a blonde color. Just put a simple tree in there as well. I got this at the thrift store for $8. It's not an old ceiling tin, but it looks like one. So I snatched that up. This is a lamp I also found at the thrift store. It was actually brand new, but it was made of composite material. And I wanted it white, so I just gave it a coat of white chalk paint. Left the lampshade as is. This chair, I'm going to actually go back around the bed here. This chair I actually picked up for $25 at Goodwill, which you can find at a regular basis here in Ohio. and I upholster. So I ordered the green sack stripe material off of Etsy. I did a stencil that I also ordered off of Etsy, excuse me. And I used drop cloth for the filler material, like for the arms and the base here. This anti-fleece pill material I got at Joann's last week was $14.99 a yard with 70% off. So I think it was like $7 also. And for the sides, I just used the regular upholstery tack. I'll give you a close-up here. Kind of like the deconstructed look. They're actually carpet tacks. But I'll show you this. There's a girl that has a page called Farmhouse on Boom that she makes pillows and does videos. Oh, her page is just fabulous. And I had originally seen the fabric from her. I think it's called Sweet Annie's on Etsy that carries the fabric. This little tree I've had for a really long time, and that's another one of my crocks. Actually, the bottom is busted out of it, so I couldn't use it for very much, except something in the garden, or this little tree was just perfect. But I also put a little bit of the garland from Joann's that I took apart in there, and just a few red balls and a gray plaid bow. This little chest of drawers, what I got from a friend of mine. I used to do shows, flea markets, and at the end of the show she still had this, and she sold it to me for $50. It's really deep, so it holds a lot. I have almost all of my clothes in there. And then I have this old mail container that would have been on like a conveyor belt that I keep my socks and pajamas and things in. And this is just a little jewelry box I picked up at the thrift store also. $5-6. Did a dry brush of chalk paint. Also, white chalk paint on this chest of drawers. This is an old porch pillar that I cut down and wired to be a lamp. This was a table runner, a linen table runner, that I just hot glued onto the lampshade and added a little lace around the bottom. So that concludes our farmhouse shiplap bedroom tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to, like and subscribe down below, and come back soon. I'll be having one more video for my living room, and then when we move, it's on. I am doing everything that we're doing in the house. We're looking for a fixer-upper. So here's one more shot of the bed. And we have also, oh, I almost forgot. We refinished this floor in Natural by Minwax. And I got this rug brand new, also off of Let Go, for $85. It's an 8x10. I've seen very similar rugs online, absolutely starting in the $220 to $240 range, but I just love the muted colors and think that it'll be a big help to us when we sell. But anyway, if you wonder why my bedspread's so loose and full, it's because we used to have a king-size bed and we downsized to a queen. But Merry Christmas, everyone. You have a Happy New Year.